have to look to the plate.
Holly Warwick now 10-5 in the SEC tournament after that win yesterday. Spot in the semifinals up for grabs here in Greenville between Mississippi State and Tennessee. Renaya Davis stepped out of bounds. It'll be state ball.
And that's not what you want to see if you're a Lady Vols fan. That's what happened yesterday. They started the game off really, really slow, had a couple of turnovers, not really getting on the boards until Mimi Collins hit that shot.
ANRIEL Howard driving on Mimi Collins, and she picks up her first foul. Collins got into foul trouble yesterday for Tennessee.
Well, they had 3 of their starters get into foul trouble. Mimi Collins was one of them. Renaya Davis and Avina Westbrook sat most of the first half on the bench. When you look at Collins, one of the things Coach Warwick has told us is the main reason that she is allowed to start their games is because she has picked it up on the defensive end.
This is ANRIEL Howard at the line. Played 3 years at Texas A&M before transferring over to Mississippi State, and what a get for Vic Schaefer.
What a gift, and Coach Schaefer said, I wish I would have had her for all 4 years.
Couple of points on the board thanks to ANRIEL Howard. Westbrook got around Howard but couldn't finish, and McCowan was there to take the rebound. That's what she can do. 6'7", you're going to win that rebounding battle.
Well, McCowan, she's such a force down there. If you're going to box her out, you have got to figure out a way to push her out. But she's so good at using her hand, and she's so good at now staying out of foul trouble.
Mississippi State's post presence is huge. You have ANRIEL Howard and Tierra McCowan down low. Are you kidding me?
And I think we talk so much about Tierra McCowan, but you're right. You look at ANRIEL Howard and what she's able to bring, her energy, her effort. Look at her sprint down the court, straight down the middle. Not able to get her hands on that one, but that's what she does well. Every single time you see their guards get the ball, ANRIEL Howard straight down the middle of the floor, trying to get position right underneath the basket.
This is a player who is the career rebounding record holder at Texas A&M. And now she's playing on a Mississippi State team who already has a career rebounding record holder on the roster in Tierra McCowan. Well, Tennessee has started to threat.
And I think the biggest thing is Chloe comes with size. Bibby comes out with size. And so yet another force. I mean, ANRIEL Howard can literally play the 2, the 3, or the 4. So you move her over, you play Bibby with Tierra McCowan, and it makes a big difference.
The scary thing is, guys, after talking to Vic Schaefer yesterday, he says he doesn't think this team has even scratched the surface, and he doesn't know if they ever will. He has yet to have a game this season where all 5 players have played well on the same day. Can they do it today?
And I think that's an interesting point, because when you look at Coach Schaefer, and every game that we've talked to him, he has consistently said that we can do better, we can get better, and he's never satisfied. But I think that's what makes him such a great coach, and that's what makes us such a great team, is you're always striving to be your best.
You know what's impressive, though, and the sign of building a program, is that they've gone through all these obstacles, and they still have players stepping up. They're still having the success that they are.
Well, it's interesting. Stephanie and I were talking yesterday, or maybe even the first day of the tournament, about all the top teams that are out there in the NCAA and how the players respond to their coaches. Look at Coach Schaefer. Yes, he's gone through 2 different seasons with having to lose 4 players each year. But yet, this year is another year. Forget about the past. We're going to focus on this year, and that's what he's done. He's been committed to his system. He's been committed to his team and committed to being the best.
The players are committed to him, for sure. I've been through Mississippi State's practices. No, I mean, I've watched them. Thank goodness I haven't been through them. No, that would be terrible.
Point guard.
I've watched. They are tough practices. I mean, they are running up and down the floor. Mimi Collins just picked up her 2nd foul. If you're Tennessee, this is not how you wanted to start this game.
No, it's not how you want it. And you see Mimi Collins right there. Just a little hook right there. Thrown ANRIEL Howard to the floor. You cannot do that. And you cannot afford to put your team in a situation, but yet another freshman you're putting in a position to be in these big games.
Collins in foul trouble. She's on the bench. Tennessee has turned it over 4 times. Sorry, 5 times.
Well, they can't get themselves going. Tennessee trying to get to the basket, trying to look up. I think at this time, you talk about the defensive effort. You talk about what Mississippi State has been able to do in the past. They are a great defensive team, and I think you underestimate that when you see the offensive talent that they have.
Eight seconds for State. Howard. Rebound by Renaya Davis.
Great rebound right there by Renaya Davis. So Tennessee would love to see her get a little bit more aggressive.
Tennessee has 5 turnovers and 1 field goal attempt. Make it 2 now. Danbury steps around Westbrook. Finally, Tennessee has its first points over 3 minutes in.
And a great look by Westbrook, seeing a wide open Sheridan Green.
We saw it yesterday. Westbrook is the piece that can settle this Tennessee team down and get them going in the right direction. She did it in the second half against LSU.
Well, you watch her. She's just so steady. She never gets too high, never gets too low. And you can tell she's always focused. Look at her face. She makes that shot. She's locked into what she has to do for this team. Last game, she did not play against Mississippi State. She had some violations with the team, and Lady Vols stayed within the game really until the 3rd quarter, but you could tell in the fourth quarter they ran out of gas, and Mississippi State stepped on the gas, and it was not a good look for them.
Definitely a different Tennessee team when Avina Westbrook is in the game. Jordan Danbury is struggling. Both teams with just 2 made field goals.
Well, Danbury trying to drive in to get the foul rather than drive in to make the basket.
Westbrook comes across. Danbury sat on her back.
Great finish by Westbrook, being able to play through the contact. Finally, McCowan gets a shot attempt.
Blocking foul on Sheridan Green. Avina Westbrook trying to get something going.
Well, look at her. She's just so good in the open lane. Look up the floor, gets to Sheridan Green. But it's not just that. I mean, it's obviously coming around screens, being able to knock down shots like this. You never know when she's going to shoot. She comes around, she stays in this pretty much. She's not too high, not too low, but she stays in her rhythm and able to get that shot off.
Westbrook has been really responsible for all 6 of Tennessee's points. She has 4 points and an assist on the other basket.
Guys, one concern, and really the biggest concern for Vic Schaefer, Tamika, as he told us the other day, was he said with this noon game, it's 11 Central Time for them. He said the sleepy team always loses. Mississippi State got up at 6:30. It was an optional shoot-around, but several starters were here at 7 o'clock getting shots up. But I've noticed a trend in this tournament. The first game, it's cold in here. Players have taken a while to warm up, especially with their shots.
And I would definitely agree with you, Steffi. You look at the last couple of days, and that first game, those first couple of minutes are rough to kind of watch just because there are a lot of turnovers and you're trying to get in your rhythm. And it is cold in here. There's ice underneath the floor, so that itself makes a difference.
Yeah, there's an ice rink under this court because they use it for hockey, this arena. Westbrook for 3.
Well, they know the right person to get the ball to in this moment. Avina Westbrook has done everything thus far to keep this team in the game.
7 points for Westbrook. Breamber Scott trying to get State out of this slump, and she does. Mississippi State had missed its last 5 shots before that.
Mississippi State doing a great job of denying Westbrook the ball in the backcourt. Mimi Jackson's going to run the point guard for a little bit.
I'm trying to get Westbrook some more offensive looks, maybe?
Well, I think some of it might even be trying to get her off the defensive pressure. Jasmine Holmes is one of the players that plays great defense. And she cannot go 40 minutes. Avina Westbrook cannot go 40 minutes with getting hounded like she is by Holmes.
Yeah, Holmes, a member of the SEC All-Defensive team this year.
And it always starts with your point guard. You know, I remember even as a player and having Breon January in the front. It starts with your point guard on that press and just being able to establish the tone of the defense.
Mimi Jackson connects. Tennessee 2 for 4 from 3. Howard working away around Zay Green and draws the foul.
ANRIEL Howard is just so good at being able to use her body, get into the play, but she does a great job in this thing. Gets Zay Green on her hip and able to finish. Zay Green really had nowhere to go but to foul her.
It's been fun to watch Howard's development at Mississippi State too, because Texas A&M needed her so much down in the paint to get those rebounds, but now she's really extended her offensive range. She can take it in like we just saw. Put back by McCowan, her first points.
Well, it's good to see McCowan working the way that she is.
36% of McCowan's points come off of second chance opportunities. And then the block. Nope.
Yep, nope, denied. She's gotten so much better. I mean, seeing the last couple of years, her development. Normally, in previous years, we've seen her fouling that, using her body, but she has learned how to release and use her length with her arm to get the ball out of the air.
That's her 72nd block this season. Zay Green, Tennessee's feeling it from 3. That's their third three-pointer.
Well, they normally average 32.1% from the three-point line. Really feeling it right now.
Mississippi State's just taking it at Tennessee, and that's going to be a foul on Westbrook, her first.
Well, if you're Mississippi State and you've watched and you talked about the game last week against Tennessee against Vanderbilt, Vandy just put their head down and drove to the basket, got to the free throw line or got the basket, the layup, wide open layup. And so I'm sure Coach Schaefer has looked at that film, has watched that film, showed his team, put your head down, go to the basket, force Tennessee to play defense.
Holmes 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Tied up at 15.
Mississippi State doing such a great job of forcing other players to have to bring the ball up. Holmes is defending Westbrook like the whole time.
She can pull up and hit the transition bucket. I love Jasmine Holmes.
I do. I like the way she plays.
And props to her, because she's a player that had to play behind Morgan Williams for most of her career, the first 3 years. And she didn't transfer. She stayed with it. And here she is, one of the best point guards, I think, in the country.
Well, I think she learned a lot from coming behind Morgan as well.
Yeah.
And now, early on in the season, Coach Schaefer talked a lot about her taking care of the ball. Now she's one of the leaders in assist-to-turnover ratio because of that.
And guys, and a reminder, in that first national championship game that Mississippi State played in, he sat Morgan Williams on the bench, and Jasmine Holmes is the player that came in and stepped up big. So she has been in big moments. She has waited her turn, but she's ready to get the big one today.
That's a great point, Steffi. I forgot. You forget about that. It's a nice experience to have in your back pocket.
Oh, yeah. And know that your coach is supporting you like that too. Like, you have faith to put me in the game. That means that when the game is on the line, to get that job done.
Tennessee living with the 3-ball right now. They're 4 of 7.
I think the big reason they're at the three-point line is when you look at number 15 down there, for Mississippi State, it would deter you from going inside.
I don't want any part of that. Espinoza Hunter's shot is short, but watch out because she can light it up. She hit 7 3-pointers against Texas A&M.
Yeah, this young lady, the way she shoots to talk about a quick release.
Yeah.
She can get that ball out. Now, you haven't really seen Westbrook be as demanding with the ball as she is today. And you like it. Because if Tennessee wants to win this game, they're going to have to rely on her.
The kick to the corner to Jackson. I think this would be called feeling it.
They are shooting 62.5%. 5 for 8 right now. Tennessee Lady Ball from the three-point line.
Two fouls on Tierra McCowan.
And that is not what this Bulldog team wants to see. Tierra McCowan out with 2 fouls in the first quarter. Coach Schaefer is not happy.
So State will bring in Jessica Carter. 29.5 seconds left in the first quarter. Tennessee on top, 21-17. Foul on Danbury.
Sheridan Green does a good job of collecting herself. Danbury falls down a little bit. See that slip right there by Sheridan Green. She's in the restricted area as well.
Yeah, and that play started outside of the lower defensive box, so the RA would be in effect. Well, I guess it was a pass inside, so it wouldn't.
Well, Sheridan Green yesterday did not have the game that she wanted to have. Ended up with 7 points and 9 rebounds, but ball kept slipping through her hands. So knowing that today her team needs her, specifically going against the McCowan. And we look for Espinoza Hunter to try to get a 3 from this Mississippi State team.
They're looking at Tierra McCowan right now over on the Mississippi State bench. She's over there with 2 fouls. Danbury. Short. Mississippi State struggling, only shooting 35% from the field in the first quarter. Meanwhile, Tennessee just shot 50% from the field. They lead Mississippi State 23-17.
Hold McCowan to 2 shots a quarter and shoot 62% from 3, then I think they're going to be in pretty good shape. If they're competitive in this game, even if they're not, they're still in the field for now, but not being competitive gives the committee another eyebrow to raise and something to look at and say, are they really going to be able to compete at this tournament against the best teams in the country? And an indicator that they can would be to continue to play like they have in the first quarter here.
So we've been talking a lot about Tennessee, but what about Mississippi State? Right now, in the last reveal, they were as a 2 seed coming out by the NCAA selection committee. Is there a chance we would see them go up to a 1 seed at all?
There is a chance. Winning this tournament would be a prerequisite for sure, and getting some help. Oregon not winning the Pac-12 would be necessary, and Notre Dame and Louisville, one of them not getting to the ACC final would also be very helpful. I think maybe if both Notre Dame and Louisville do get to the ACC final, but in some way the game's a blowout, that could maybe sway the committee to bump on Mississippi State up to a 1 line. But I think it's probably more than likely going to require an upset in the semifinals of the ACC tournament as well.
Mississippi State obviously has a great resume. Their worst loss is to Missouri, and that's not that bad. They're 28 in the RPI. Their other loss to the season was to Oregon, who is a really solid team. When you look at this SEC, now that LSU lost yesterday, you still think it's 7 teams in the conference going?
I do. I don't see any way that's going to change in moving up. I don't think there's just not an A team anymore with LSU losing yesterday. It could, if Tennessee gets bumped by some other happenings that go on in some of the smaller conferences in the weekend and into next week, it could be 6, but we're maxed out at 7, I think.
Yeah, you were mentioning when you were up there on set with all the guys up there, you were talking about the smaller schools that could bump Tennessee out. Who should we be watching if you're looking to see if Tennessee can get in?
I think first and foremost, watch the Missouri Valley Conference, because if Drake doesn't win it, there's no other team in the league that would be an at-large, but Drake is going to be. So that's a second team from the Missouri Valley that would go. It would be a bid stealer, so to speak. In the MAC, Central Michigan is a definite. Buffalo is a probable. So you want one of those 2 teams to win the tournament for sure. Same in the Summit League with South Dakota and South Dakota State. And Gonzaga, BYU, and the WCC. Those are the 4 leagues that if you're Tennessee, and even if you're Auburn to some degree, keep an eye on. You want chalk to happen. You want 1s and 2 seeds to win those tournaments. That way there aren't any extra bids going to teams that otherwise wouldn't be in the NCAA tournament.
Right now we got a pretty good game going on this one, a 4-point game. Charlie, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Of course.
Charlie Cream, our resident bracketologist on the women's side. Been working hard. 4-point game right here. Tennessee still on top, 25-21. Danbury driving into traffic, and there's the putback, Jessica Carter. Remember, Tiara McCowan has 2 fouls for Mississippi State.
Mississippi State doing a great job on the defensive end. They have literally forced turnover after turnover after turnover.
Tiara McCowan coming back into the game. She's got to be careful with a couple of fouls.
Well, I think it says a lot that Coach Schaefer trusts her enough and the coaching staff to put her back in the game. I'm sure that they've had plenty of discussion on the sideline, but she's got to stay out of foul trouble.
Mississippi State was outscored 8-2 with her on the sidelines. Great move from Howard.
And you know, Howard with that up and under move, she does that so good.
Ball's on the floor, Holmes controls it. There's some benefits to having 6-7.
Well, Tennessee right now sitting on 9 turnovers.
Mississippi State has turned those 9 turnovers into 8 points. Offensive foul.
Zay Green able to get around. That's her 2nd foul, but able to get around and get inside Mississippi State. Literally, everybody is paying attention, heads up, able to get that charge.
Tennessee already has 10 turnovers. They average 15 a game. Espinoza Hunter.
See the way Espinoza Hunter came around that screen. You knew she was going straight to the basket.
Sheridan Green just took it away. And then Mississippi State gets it.
Tennessee started off so well. As of late, they've just been throwing the ball around. But that's what Mississippi State does to teams. They force you to think about the passes you're making, think about getting to the basket. See, Renaya Davis has not even scored yet. She's 0 for 4 right now. She's not even really looking to attack the basket.
Espinoza Hunter went down hard, but she is called for her first foul.
Mimi Jackson will come back into the game for Zay Green.
If you're Tennessee, McCowan's out there with 2 fouls. Do you take it at her?
You think that would be part of the game plan, is to try to figure out how to get her into some pick and roll. But I think Tennessee, they're just putting their head down and trying to make some plays happen.
Ray Burrell, the offensive rebound, and puts it in for 2. We're tied at 27. We've already been tied 5 times in this game.
Look how active Mississippi State is on the offensive end.
Oh, Burrell thought she got all ball.
Well, I think the issue is anytime you swing your hands down, whether it's all ball or not, the swing itself will cause the referee to call a foul.
Ray Burrell called for the foul. Tied up at 27. Jasmine Holmes is at the line for Mississippi State. They've only turned it over 3 times in this game. Holmes is the best free throw shooter on this team, hitting at 88%.
Interestingly enough, she is the best defender on the team. Of course, Tiara McCowan. But when you look at from the guard position, she's the best defender and the best free throw shooter. That was a close one right there by Westbrook.
Holmes almost had a hand on that pass.
Tennessee trying to figure out a way, too, to get Renaya Davis going.
Yeah, Davis 0 for 4. Does have 4 rebounds and a couple of assists. Jump ball, possession arrow is pointing to Tennessee.
That's a rare turnover by Mississippi State. You're not used to seeing them do that.
McCowan's already had her arm bandaged up, you see right there on her left arm, and now holding on to that hand. She has done a pretty good job here in the second quarter, being out there with 2 fouls, hasn't picked up that 3rd.
Well, I'm sure she's learned how to play smart. If Coach Schaefer's gonna believe in her enough to have her out there, he had that talk. Before you get out here, we cannot afford for you to have another 3rd foul.
That's the 2nd foul on ANRIEL Howard.
So now you have Tiara McCowan and ANRIEL Howard with 2 fouls for Mississippi State. We'll see if the Lady Vols take advantage of this.
How do they do that? Go at them?
They have to go at them. You got to put them in a position where they have to defend. Sheridan Green will get called for her 2nd foul as well. And the interesting thing about that foul right there is all Sheridan Green had to do was get out of the way. She tried to box out Tiara McCowan so Evina Westbrook wouldn't get fouled. But if she would have created space, that would have been a nice little dish off, which Westbrook is so good at seeing the floor. ANRIEL Howard.
8 seconds. Holmes pulls up at the elbow. Jasmine Holmes has 12. Davis, there are her first points.
Well, and she looked confident in that move. Every other time she caught the ball, it's almost been, what am I supposed to do with it? Like, her pumping it, I guess, a little bit. But that time she came down, she looked correct, she saw Tiara McCowan, came off that screen, and just a confident shot.
She's the second leading scorer on Tennessee's team. Howard now with 12 also. Her and Jasmine Holmes leading Mississippi State right now. Turnover number 14.
I tell you, this ball, I don't know if it's slippery.
Yeah.
But that's what we're going to say. It's because it's not just one team now. Now it's both teams.
Vic Schaefer is wearing a mic for us. Let's go Wired with Mississippi State.
Be sharp early. There's no telling what's coming. You be sharp early. Our inability to guard the ball right now has got us in trouble, and our impatience. When we've been patient, turn it 2 or 3 times, it's a layup. Just keep driving it. Don't settle. Keep driving it.
ANRIEL Howard hits the big 3 for Mississippi State. That is the first 3 for Mississippi State in this game.
Well, you heard it right there. Coach Schaefer even said, just keep driving it. And that is what Mississippi State has done right there. They got ANRIEL Howard for the 3, but if you look at the majority of their shots right now, they are shooting 22 points. They've had 22 points in the paint compared to Tennessee's 8.
They've had the ball a lot because Tennessee's turned it over 15 times. Cassiana Kushkitawa called for the foul as McCowan was trying to go up.
And McCowan, she just has gotten so much better at taking her time to be able to get to the free throw line. I mean, literally before when we blocked her, she would have thrown the ball up there and not even been able to get the foul or the 2-point, but at least push herself in a position to be able to get to the free throw line.
And the good news is her free throw percentage is up 10 percentage points from last season because she's going to the free throw line. Efficiency.
And I'm sure not, I mean, she's shot less shots this year than she has in previous years. And you look at her numbers. So that's one point, but then the second point is in every single free throw, every single practice, they're practicing free throws, free throws, free throws.
We get an arm bar on Breamber Scott. Her first. Got a lot of fouls in this game.
A lot of fouls and a lot of turnovers.
Oh, not what you want. Westbrook all alone in the corner. That's the 6th three-pointer for Tennessee.
Doing a really good job, Lady Vols right now, moving the ball.
Davis on Danbury. Danbury got a piece of it.
Great defense by Danbury to not foul.
McCowan works her way over there.
You got to feel good when you have McCowan out there for pretty much the whole second quarter, not get any foul. So she's been really smart in making sure from a body standpoint that she doesn't get in the way, that she doesn't get, even in a situation where the referee has to guess, do we give her the foul or do we not?
I still feel like she's having an impact, though. I mean, she's just staying out of foul trouble. She's not just standing out there.
Well, she's always going to have an impact. I mean, when you're 6'7" and you're underneath the basket, your impact is already there.
State moves it around so well. That's a couple of blocks for Ray Burrell.
Ray Burrell has come in this game and given Tennessee some energy off the bench, knocking down a shot a couple of seconds ago and coming in with that block.
It's a new career high for her, a couple of blocks in this game. Layup given to Scott.
Great move by Amber Scott. She has put her head down and just driven to the basket. Every time she touches the ball, she's on her way to the basket.
Quick shot coming. You want a little momentum at halftime?
Put Amber Scott in the game and get her going. She has been phenomenal. Get it to the basket, knocking down three. That shot leading into halftime, that's a big deal.
A huge three from Amber Scott.
Talk about some energy right there. Look at that transition game. Mississippi State sees the clock running down. Amber Scott on the three, and it's good. That's some excitement right there.
Mississippi State leads 43-32 at the half. Steffi is standing by with Vic Schaefer. Have that in the first 10 minutes.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what their game plan will be coming into the second half. They know that they have to take care of the ball. It kind of looks like hot potato out there, but off of their 15 turnovers, State was able to turn that into 17 points.
It's just giving away free points. Tennessee has had the lead in this game. They led by as many as 6 at the end of the first quarter. And then Mississippi State started to figure things out. McCowan in a double team, still gets the rebound and the putback.
McCowan does a great job of burying just Sheridan Green trying to front her. But Tennessee trying to pull somebody else on the backside. But with 6'7", when you lob the ball in, it's still hard to get the ball and let you tap it out of the air and out of bounds.
Renaya Davis, she was slow in that first half, just 2 points.
Well, that's a good sign if you're for the Lady Vols right now. They need to get Renaya Davis going. And if you think about yesterday's game, she sat on the bench for the first half. Came out in the second half, both her and Avina Westbrook, and had some quality minutes and points. So look for that from the second half.
10 seconds for the Bulldogs. Running out of time. Renaya Davis kept ANRIEL Howard from doing anything with it.
ANRIEL Howard trying to do a jab step, trying to get Renaya Davis out of position. Renaya Davis does a good job of staying down. Well, look who's back on the court. We got Mimi Collins back in the game. Sat on the bench for the first half with 2 fouls, same as yesterday. But looking to hopefully stay in the game longer.
What about that pass, though, from Westbrook?
Tennessee in a boxing one right now. Sheridan Green has not left Tierra McCowan's hip.
Jordan Danbury just has 1 point in this game. McCowan, another putback. Remember, she scores 36% of her points off of offensive putbacks. Offensive rebound putbacks.
And Mimi Jackson just had her 5th turnover alone. She looks up the court.
Moments ago, Steffi Sorensen spoke to Holly Warlick.
Well, Coach, 15 turnovers there in that first half. You take them away, it's a different game, so how do you clean them up?
Yeah, we had 4 in a row and they scored. That's tough. Look, if we have to over-dribble, I told our kids to over-dribble and can't get us in a situation where we get trapped. They're pressing us and we're getting in. Different people are bringing the ball up, but got to take care of the ball, bottom line.
What's the biggest message that you had for your team to start the second half?
Well, mainly take care of the ball and then get some second chance points. We're doing a decent job on the defensive end. Really, You know, the last play we gave up a 3 and we were in the lane, but just keep plugging away. Take care of the basketball. That's my whole message, take care of the ball.
Do you need to see more from Renaya Davis?
I do. She's got to make plays for us to win. Got to make plays, and she's had some good opportunities and they didn't fall, but she's got to really buckle down and put us on her back.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
This is ANRIEL Howard at the line. A 10-point lead right now for Mississippi State.
Well, I think Coach Warlick hit it on the nail as far as Lady Vols and what they need to do to get back in the game and take care of the ball. I mean, it sounds so simple, but when you've watched the first half and what they have not been able to do, just owning the ball, and then she talked about dribbling the ball, so it's almost like they are dribbling the ball right now a little bit too much.
Davis had it knocked out of her hand by Espinoza Hunter, and that results in the 17th turnover by Tennessee. Mimi Jackson picks up her first. That's the 9th time in this game they've turned it over in back-to-back possessions.
Well, that's been the struggle, and that's kind of been the story of the afternoon thus far with the Lady Vols, because they are playing well in every other aspect. It's just been the turnovers, and Mississippi State has capitalized on it.
18 points for Mississippi State off of those turnovers. Howard found herself wide open.
Well, when you're doing that box and one, it's really hard, especially with ANRIEL Howard doing a great job of kind of roaming.
When Tennessee has been at its best in this game, Avina Westbrook was leading the charge.
Well, I think it's kind of a story for both of them. Avina Westbrook from the Tennessee side has done a great job. Every single possession that they need to get going, Tennessee needs to get going. She's the one that leads it, but then you kind of look on the other side, and that's the same thing for Jasmine Holmes.
Holmes just called for her second foul, though. Westbrook at the line.
And Tennessee trying to put on that full-court press. State has been in that full-court press all game long and have forced other players to have to bring the ball up.
McCowan in a double team. It goes out off of State and will be Tennessee ball.
Yeah, that's an interesting press break right there, but McCowan able to hold the ball. Normally, she's able to get the ball down the court.
They double-check the clock real quick, and now Tennessee will inbound. Westbrook short. It'll go to State.
Good defensive possession right there by Jasmine Holmes.
Mississippi State finds a way to get through the pressure. They give it to McCowan, and she draws the foul on Avina Westbrook, her second.
Such a smart play, and you look at Mississippi State, they did a good job. Nobody dribbled the ball until Danbury got the ball down there. But they passed the ball, they moved the ball. Tennessee, you cannot keep up. No defense can keep up with the ball when it's being passed. When you dribble, it makes it easier on the defense.
McCowan, 9 points, 9 rebounds. She has 24 double-doubles this season. I think we'll see a 25th today. She's right there. She's got the points.
And another turnover by Tennessee. Unforced errors.
That's 18 turnovers for Tennessee.
It would be interesting to look at it and see how many of the 18 have been unforced.
Mimi Collins gets it out somehow while laying on the floor. Davis pulls up before she got to McCowan down low.
Well, at least she made a smart play and not going too deep, seeing McCowan down there.
Renee Davis with 5 points here in the third quarter. She just had 2 points at the half.
Howard does such a good job of getting to the basket.
Oh, Jazz Holmes just jumped over the announce table.
Well, you got to hope that Jasmine Holmes is okay.
You can't be an analyst yet. You got to play in this game.
We don't need you over here. What a hustle play right there, though. What a hustle play. Look at this right here. How impressive would it have been if she jumped over the table?
Sometimes you just get going. Howard, he's like, oh, goodness, there goes our point guard. That's something you don't want to see. Holmes is fine. She's ready to play defense again.
Yeah. Got some tough players down there.
Green gets around McCowan. Okay.
Wow. But you know what? I love the move, but even more importantly, I love that Tierra McCowan doesn't swing down, doesn't get a foul.
Already has 2. McCowan draws the foul, but she's upset she missed the bucket. She's going to the line. Mississippi State's got a 10-point lead.
Ball has to hit your hand if you're close enough. So she's done a really good job just using her feet, using her body, using her length, and just having her hands straight up.
We've seen Tennessee also second-guess driving into the paint because 6'7" Tierra McCowan is waiting there. They've had to settle for the pull-up jumper instead.
Well, because she's the defensive player of the year, and she's the defensive player of the year for a reason. Standing down there, and she just makes you think about what you want to do.
I think I don't want to go down there.
I think that's a great idea.
I'll stay here.
Guys, I was just in Vic Schaefer's huddle, and he's trying to keep his team on edge. He told them that everything is so slow, all the speed, all the cuts. He wants them to play at a better game speed, and that's what makes him such a good coach is despite the lead, they're playing well. He wants to play with them to play with an edge and a chip on their shoulder. I heard a lot of gollies in that huddle as well, so we'll see how they respond.
Was it like, golly?
It was it like, God, I'm not going to do it. I'll let you do it for me.
I love that. Coach Schaefer is always coaching so hard. In practice, outside of practice, in games, no matter what the score is. But I think it pays off.
Well, I feel like even, oh no, Mimi Collins.
That's her third.
Even when he's talking to us, I feel like I'm getting coached.
Yeah.
Yes, coach, you're right, coach. All right, put me in.
He would love to put you in.
Had the maroon jacket on yesterday.
Yep. No maroon playing yesterday. This will be Breamber Scott. Remember, she's the one that hit the big three-pointer going into half.
Well, Scott has 7 points right now and has done a good job of attacking the basket. When she's come around those screens, you look at her eyes, she's going straight to the basket. Tennessee has not had anybody that stepped in front of her and tried to even attempt taking a charge. Now Zay Green running the point guard position.
She'll take the three.
There's that double-double right there. 10 rebounds.
11 points, 10 rebounds for Tierra McCowan. She has got her 25th double-double of the season, her 64th double-double of her career. Offensive foul on ANRIEL Howard, her third foul.
And Vic Schaefer goes to the floor over there. ANRIEL Howard, I don't know how she gets that charge right there. She comes across over the screen. She has two players that are defending her.
She's going to help force a turnover, though, and get it back.
Well, that's what they do so well. You make a mistake on the offensive end, you're going to get it back on the defensive end. Mississippi State has cleared out the paint here. McCowan hanging out.
I'm not sure if Holmes got bumped on that shot, but hey, don't forget, we're going to have a really good second game, too. Kentucky, the 4 seed, they're going to play for the first time here in Greenville, taking on Missouri. That's coming up after the conclusion of this game.
Well, we're sitting here talking about the next game. Tennessee had another turnover. That's back-to-back turnovers again.
What's going on? Are they trying to go too fast? What is it?
Well, I think the big thing is, look at how low Evina Westbrook is. First off, you never want to catch the ball in that corner. You always want to have space to get up the floor. So instead of setting up the guards low to the baseline, move it further down the floor.
Mimi Collins. Tennessee was helped by the 3-ball in the first half. That's their 8th 3-pointer.
Well, the interesting thing is, when you look at the score and you look at how Tennessee is playing and how many turnovers they've had, they're actually still in this game because of their defense and because they've knocked down as many threes as they have.
Danbury with her first field goal. She started 0 for 9. Davis.
Jasmine Holmes, that's a smart move right there. Pull it out, get everybody set up.
Vic Schaefer dictating traffic over there.
Tennessee in this box and one.
Scott just pops the 3.
Smart play, Westbrook. Tap the ball to her teammate. Surprised that Mississippi State has not gotten the ball back into Tierra McCowan.
McCowan with just 6 shots today. She's 3 for 6. Vic Schaefer called the right play there.
Well, that pick and roll, when you're doing a box and one right there, and Renaya Davis and Sheridan Green both camped out on Tierra McCowan.
Westbrook shakes off McCowan. 17 points for Evina Westbrook to lead Tennessee. 12 of those came in the first half.
Mississippi State taking a moment, get a little bit of a break.
Ooh, and Tierra McCowan came down a little funny. Good to see her pop right back up.
Grabbing her. That was a tough foul right there.
That's the
3 Tennessee players trying to get there on that lob. Good to see McCowan up.
That's the 3rd on Evina Westbrook.
2 players streaking over there. It's a little bit too far. You gotta love McCowan makes them pay for fouling her.
It's been one of her biggest improvements is free throw shooting. She just only shot 63% from the free throw line last year. That's up to 74% this year. She's now 7 of 8 from the charity stripe today.
And if you can rely on your post players to be able to shoot threes. You know she's going to get fouled, and everybody's looking for the weak point of her, and that has been, characteristically, that has been the thing that, all right, put her to the foul line, force her to beat her from the foul line. But now that she's making free throws, that's the great thing.
And gets the steal. Not a lot of time. Danbury does get it off, but it won't go. Mississippi State leading as we get set to start the fourth quarter, 64-51. Bad shooting at all. ANRIEL Howard, a first-team All-SEC selection. That's why Mississippi State's so dangerous. You've got Howard, you've got Holmes, McCowan. There's so many different weapons.
And then all the other players step up as well. Almost lost the ball. Referee bounced the ball a little bit low.
That does not count as a turnover for
Does
anyone.
it? Turnover on the ref.
Yeah. Come on, Jenna. I'm just kidding. Tennessee has turned it over 21 times. Steffi Sorensen was just listening in to Holly Warlick.
Yeah, that was a good start there on the offensive side of the floor, but the message was about defense and the coaching staff really challenging Tennessee, especially on this dribble drive from Mississippi State, denying each pass, getting in a stance. They were saying that Mississippi State likes to pressure, but they don't want to be pressured, so something to watch for in this fourth quarter. Can they turn up the heat defensively?
And you got to do that without fouling, too.
And ANRIEL Howard right there is taking off where she's been all game long. I think not just staying out of foul trouble, but taking care of the ball.
Westbrook's shot is short. Mississippi State really good at being patient.
I feel like they've gotten a lot better doing that. You know they could pretty much get any shot that they want. But when you look at the clock and where you are in this game, you have to make smarter decisions.
Mimi Collins reached back and grabbed Danbury's shoulder. That's her fourth.
Mimi Collins has had a rough past couple of days. Yesterday it started off, and she ended up having a good game.
I think Jasmine Holmes felt that one. Four on Sheridan Green. I'm sorry, Zay Green. Wrong Green.
Two greens. Jasmine Holmes definitely felt that one. Good to see her still out here on the floor, because Mississippi State, they look at just their route, I guess, going to the tournament. They're going to need her.
Yeah, you want your point guard out there. Winner of our game is going to move on to the semifinals here in Greenville at the SEC tournament and get either Kentucky or Missouri. We will see that game play about 30 minutes after the end of this one. McCowan, 15 points.
Oh, it's really tough, Sheridan Green, trying to guard Tiara McCowan, trying to front her. And what that means is that you have to have somebody on the backside that can be there to tap the ball out, because there's no way, Sheridan Green, no offense to her, but there's no way you can guard Tiara McCowan without having somebody on the backside to help.
Mississippi State has dictated a majority of this game. Tennessee came out and the turnover started immediately. They had 5 turnovers to start this game. Now they're at 22 turnovers. McCowan's been a bright spot, 15 points, 11 rebounds for State.
Look at that positioning right there. McCowan just does such a good job of kind of scooting Green up. Tennessee not having anybody on the backside to help. And another turnover by Tennessee.
That ties their season high at 23 turnovers. They've hit that number 3 times now this season. The first 2 against Auburn, and then before that against Murray State.
Bre'Amber Scott picks up another foul.
It's her 3rd. That puts Renaya Davis at the line. Davis just 2 points in the first half. She has 9 right now. SEC Inside gives you an all-access pass to the women's basketball tournament for never-before-seen footage and sounds. It all starts at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central on Tuesday, right here on the SEC Network. And, of course, you can see it on your ESPN app. Both free throws will go for Davis. 15-point lead for Mississippi State. The hustle from Sheridan Green results in a turnover.
How about that hustle from Sheridan Green? Not often that you see your 5 player, but a couple minutes ago we saw Tiara McCowan get a steal down here. But Sheridan Green able to see where the ball was going in flight and get there early enough to get it.
Jasmine Holmes did just pick up her 4th foul. Mississippi State's defense really makes you work.
Great block right there by Bre'Amber Scott.
It comes from all angles.
Ray Burrell did a great job, though, of getting Tiara McCowan to step up. Called for the foul. Number 4. Is that number 4 or number 3?
That was on Mimi Jackson.
Oh, Mimi Jackson.
For 2nd. This Mississippi State team is projected as a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. When we saw that first reveal from the selection committee, they were a 1 seed, but then they lost to Missouri, so now sitting at a 2 seed. You can see why. They're a talented group.
And the talent is we always hear about Tiara McCowan, but today it's been ANRIEL Howard. It started with Jasmine Holmes, and I think she's been the biggest difference maker. Jordan Danbury doing her job. Espinoza Hunter, who's not on the floor right now and hasn't had necessarily a good game, but we've seen her come out and light it up. So you literally cannot just look at the players that are on the court, but everybody, or not just focus on Tiara McCowan. You have to focus on every single individual player. Bre'Amber Scott, she's come in and has done an amazing job.
Yeah, Jordan Danbury hasn't even had that good of a game. She's 3 points, 1 for 10 from the field, but she still has 3 rebounds, and she's doing, and 4 assists. So she's contributing in another way. A lot of times you'll see a player's offense, it can affect their defense.
Yeah, but she's done all the little things today. Gotta wonder, though, when you're in the huddle with Coach Schaefer, and he's talking to you, he's willing you guys, he's willing his team to come out and listen to this crowd.
Vic Schaefer's team is on top with 4 minutes to go, looking for that spot in the semifinals.
Or dictating what the offense is going to do from the defensive end.
Mississippi State has turned those turnovers into 26 points. You pair that with 26 points from ANRIEL Howard, 15 from McCowan. They have 4 players in double figures. And a travel. Another turnover for Tennessee. They're down 76-57. Cunningham play in her final SEC tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's coming up about 30 minutes after the conclusion of this game.
So there's 4 minutes left, and if you're Tennessee looking at the scoreboard, obviously you're not going to shoot 1 or 2 baskets and get back in the game. The most important thing is, how do you figure out a way to stop ANRIEL Howard, and how do you figure out a way to keep this young lady off the board?
I don't know if you can. "17 points for McCowan, 13 rebounds. Mimi Jackson swoops in.
And that's the Mimi Jackson that we're used to seeing, flying in out of everywhere. Answer by Danbury.
Jordan Danbury's a fun player, too. I know today hasn't been her best outing, 3 of 12 from the field. But she's normally one of those players who is so clutch.
And that's the thing. Today, you don't need her to be that. All you need her to be right now is to come out. I mean, ANRIEL Howard, the game that she's having, Jasmine Holmes, the game she's having, Tierra McCowan, Breamber Scott, who came in and gave some, I mean, it's great to have everybody on, but some games for one person not to be on, but she's doing all the little things that are making a bigger difference.
Yeah, we just saw her on the floor diving for that ball.
To force another turnover.
Tennessee adding to that season high of turnovers, now with 26. Jasmine Holmes with 16. She's 1 away from tying her career high.
Well, the last time these 2 teams met up in the regular season, this is exactly what happened. In the first 3 quarters, it was close. We got to the 4th quarter. That's when Mississippi State did a great job of separating themselves.
Well, this Sunday is going to be a lot of fun. We have a handful of championship games for you. It gets really exciting when you make it to Sunday. We know Mississippi State is trying to get there. Look, we'll start off things at noon Eastern with the ACC Championship. The SEC Championship is going to be at 2 Eastern on ESPN2. Mississippi State has been in the final the last 3 years. They have not won the tournament championship.
And Coach Schaefer said this is the hardest tournament to win. They've come here the last 3 years. They've come in as the champion. But he said when you look at this tournament, it's the hardest one because every single team is so good, and you never know. Every single day you have to come and you have to bring your A game.
There's no other time where you have to win 3 games in 3 days to win a championship. There's breaks when you get to the NCAA tournament.
That's true, and didn't even think about being able to kind of go back and put together your game plan. But when you're going night after night, back to back to back, that's hard.
It's going to be interesting to see. State's got to get through Missouri or Kentucky first, too. Don't get me wrong, those are 2 talented teams. Missouri has already beaten Mississippi State this season. They're the only SEC team to do so.
It's going to be a solid matchup, but of course, State trying to finish this game off first against Tennessee to be able to move on.
Charlie Crane feels like Tennessee still will get in the NCAA tournament even with a loss here because they won that game yesterday against LSU. It's going to be a long week waiting for Selection Monday. A week from Monday is when the field will be announced.
I think that's the toughest thing, is waiting.
Yeah.
Just want to hurry up, turn around, and let's just get back to playing. We got to talk about how well Jasmine Holmes came out today, and I think she's been the key to this win. She comes out the way she does on the defensive end. I'm not even talking about offensively because she's done what she needed to do offensively, but she put so much pressure on Avina Westbrook, forced other players to have to bring the ball up. Tennessee never really got into a groove, and of course they've had their players that have stepped up, but that young lady, Jasmine Holmes, number 10, she is the player to watch for. She is the key to this win today.
First in the nation in assist to turnover ratio, a member of the SEC All-Defensive team. Holmes with 16 points. Tiara McCowan is going to take a seat, and she gets a standing ovation from the Mississippi State crowd. McCowan, 17 points, 13 rebounds, her 25th double-double of the season. Jasmine Holmes will also take a seat, ending her day with 16 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists.
McCowan so smart. 2 fouls in the first quarter. Sits on the bench. Finishes the game with 2 fouls.
ANRIEL Howard went down hard. He'll be helped up. Mimi Jackson, one of the seniors on this Tennessee team. This is going to be her last appearance in the SEC tournament for her career.
You can see her right now. You think about it. And I remember I didn't get a chance to play in my last game, my last SEC tournament, but you remember that feeling. The good thing for Mimi is the hopes of Tennessee playing in the NCAA tournament.
ANRIEL Howard just fouled out for Mississippi State.
She's just trying to get out of the game.
Yeah, what a day for Howard. 26 points, 4 rebounds. This is the other Tennessee senior, Sheridan Green, started her career at ASA College before transferring to Tennessee. Her final SEC tournament game, her numbers have been much better this season. She's a solid player. She's doubled her points per game and rebounds per game from last season.
And Tennessee, they needed that from her. I mean, she has had a solid senior year, and as you've seen her continue to grow, and of course her numbers are a sign of that.
This game for Tennessee has been kind of like their season. We've seen flashes of really good moments. Avina Westbrook leading things on and getting the charge going. And then we've seen flashes of turnovers, basically 26 turnovers for Tennessee.
Yeah, it's been interesting to watch, needless to say, when you have different games, the inconsistency, and that's something that has been the definition, but that has